Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I firstly want to apologize for the lighting situation. It's a very stressful situation for me. I hate it. I clearly need a backlight. Wow, that is very annoying. We're gonna work on that, okay? We're gonna work on it, but for now I'm sure you can just deal with with the current setup, okay? Today I'm very excited because I am trying out two new eyeshadow palettes by Sample Beauty. I have the Plush palette. The packaging is everything, and we also have the Blooming Lovely, which I don't know if the brand is a British brand, but I read that like Blooming Lovely, you know what I mean? But the American one would be Blooming Lovely, like it's blooming. Anywho, I've never tried Sample Beauty before. I'm very excited. I did originally order a palette from Beauty Bay, the Jade Thermal one, I believe. Didn't go too well, babes. Didn't go too well. I got it delivered to Spain. I had this whole issue with it. They wanted like 50 euros from me when my original order was 80 euros. I'm not paying 50 euros in customs. Like, be serious. Be so for real right now. So I ended up having to basically get that one sent back, and then by the time I reordered to get it sent to the UK to pick up, that palette was out of stock. So I ended up going with the Sample Beauty, and you get 2 for 1, so it was kind of the same price for 2 palettes, so everything works out good. Here is the Plush palette. I really love these kind of colors. Like, I really love these colors on my eyes. I'm a very green girl. I am a green girl. I mean, you know, us brown-eyed girls have to be, right? We can be anything we want, but green is special. Here is the Blooming Lovely one. How gorgeous. Now, I'm not too sure exactly what look I want. All I know is that I just want it to be beautiful. So let's get in to the makeup. I zoomed in way too much. Let's zoom out a little bit. So of course we always start with the P. Louise base on the eyes, and I'm using the PC50 Peaches and Cream brush. This is a flat concealer brush. It does have some leftover product on, which is usually like kind of gross, and I never do that just because of like my skin. I have acne, hormonal acne. I don't want to kind of worsen anything, but you know what? It makes this brush a lot flatter, which is what we want. So I just take the base. I already have a little bit on my eyes, and I just place it like that. I don't know which palette to go with. Do you know what? I think it's going to be a bit of mix and match because I'm liking the colour of this shade here. This is called Ritzy. This is from the Plush palette. I'm genuinely stuck. I think I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to go in with the colour. We're going to go for it. We're going to see what happens. I am going to go in with this kind of flat brush. This is a full coverage eye brush from Real Techniques 321. I'm going in with the shade Periwinkle. Periwinkle my tinkle. Now I'm taking Periwinkle and I'm just placing it right at the start of my eye. So far, these eyeshadows, or at least this eyeshadow, is very pigmented. Like, no fallout. I haven't even like tapped any excess off, and there's absolutely no fallout, which is amazing. By the way, if you don't know me, I love to do makeup looks that are very easy and don't really require that much, because as well as it's just better for me, it's also better for others, I think, that are new to makeup, because they can see that it's really not that hard, and you don't need 20 different brushes, you don't need 20 different shades. Sometimes you can just go in and do it. So I usually pack the product on, as you can see that I've done, and then I use the exact same brush and the exact same shade to kind of blend out. And then of course we're taking another brush. This is a flat kind of similar brush. I think we're gonna go in with the shade Water. Wow. Oh wow, that's stupid pigmented. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I genuinely think that's like the best pigment I've ever seen. And as I said, I'm not like tapping any excess product off, and as you can see, there's literally the tiniest amount of fallout. The shape I want to create will just be that kind of winged out, blurred situation. So I'm just gonna create that shape with this color. That looks crazy. So I'm gonna leave it like that so we can blend it out. I'm going to use this blue shade here, which is called Drooping, and I'm just gonna basically place it in between the first shade and the second shade we used. and I'm lightly blending out with the same brush. It's always important to make sure you go back in with any shades that you've used just to really get that color payoff. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the blending brush. The fluffier brush for blending is gonna be the best. So I am using the Morphine, however you say it, M441. I'm going in with that original shade Periwinkle, and I'm just gonna tap it on the brush. I'm gonna tap the excess off the brush, and I'm gonna use the 50-50 method or technique. The 50-50 technique is where you have 50% of your brush on where you want to blend out, and basically skin that hasn't been touched, so that there's no eyeshadow on there. But you can see how well that blended out just here. And once we have blended this out fully, we can then go back in with all the shades just to kind of re-emphasize that they were there. Because as you can see, now that we've blended it, we've kind of lost the shape of the blue. So I would say we haven't lost Periwinkle right at the start. We've definitely lost that secondary shade. Okay guys, I am back. I didn't finish the eyes. I did the base makeup because I remembered a look that I really want to do. And here it is. I'm not sure. Look how beautiful that is. And I thought we could do it, seeing as we still got kind of space. So if we just kind of move it over, we can do it. So the kind of process, I'm not too sure what the process is, but I think we're gonna go with it. Okay, I know that I definitely will need a white base for this look. Look how I store my liners. It's actually ridiculous. It makes my life so much harder than what it needs to be. So here we have the P. Louise Fresh Ink Re-White. So I'm going back in with the Bloomin' Lovely palette. I'm gonna create the shape first. I'm gonna create the shape with the P. Louise base. Now I'm gonna use this P. Louise brush. I think this brush will be okay. We will see. I'm coating it completely in the base. Like, look how this is like a really great product because it is pure white. My highlighter is giving 2016. I don't usually use highlighter. I really don't like the way that looks. The reason I used it was because I was so matte that I wanted a little bit of something. This stuff always scares me. So she starts a bit above her brow, so I guess I'm just gonna go here and I'm gonna scoop down. Now obviously because I have makeup on underneath the base, I want to keep basically going back into the white, because the moment I don't, that's going to come through and it's just going to become this kind of skin coloured base, which we obviously don't want. That, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kind of make the edges as crisp and white as possible, and then we're going to add the blue color in the middle, and then after that we can begin adding the details. I don't know how I'm gonna do the same on the other side, but I think we can lean into the fact that like not all flowers and petals are equal, so they're not gonna look alike. That's what I'm gonna go with anyway. I will be back once I've whitened up the edges. Okay, so now that we have that a little bit whiter, I'm going to go in with this shade that we used earlier, which is called Water. I'm going with a circular brush just so I have more control, and I will be actually tapping off the excess product this time. So I think I'm going to use this shade and then blend it, actually kind of go upwards with this kind of lighter blue shade that we have going on. I just want to bring in the white base so we can basically have a base for the eyeshadow, because what I'm seeing is a little bit of separation, which I don't exactly want. As you can see, look, there's literally a patch right there. That is super annoying. I'm gonna actually just go over it with the white, this whole area, which I know looks crazy, but it should be fine. I'm hoping now it will be a lot better, but we'll see. Okay, so we're getting close. Okay, I'm happy with that darker shade. So now I'm just gonna go in with that blue. I think we're gonna use the shade Periwinkle, which was that kind of lavendery blue. And I'm going to go in with a blending brush, and I'm just going to see what it looks like at first. I think that's probably the best shade. I think the other blue, which was called Drooping, would have perhaps been not too dark, but I guess this one's the best shade because it is that very light pastel-y kind of shade. Just gonna pack that on as well, as opposed to swiping right away, because where we haven't set the white base with a white shadow, we've got to be really careful, because the moment we start swiping and the base isn't set, it will start to get a little bit I guess disrupted, and sometimes it can streak or it can just look a bit dodgy, and obviously we don't want that. We want the smoothest kind of finish possible. But I am actually really happy with how this looks so far. I'm gonna go in a little bit more with that dark shade. I'm just gonna create a more, I guess, rounded shape. I'm using this very lightly. Whenever we blend, we want, you know, a kind of light pressure. Okay, so as you can see, we do have that we have that sharp line. I think that's just from where we've already kind of done the shadow. I think that's where I didn't do the base correctly. I'm hoping that on the other eye, I'll do it right, basically. This is why it's great, you know, doing things that you've never done before, because it is literally a reminder that obviously there's always new things to learn, and that's fun, you know. Okay, so now that we have kind of blended out the blue and everything like that, I am going to go in with a white matte shadow, and just to get those kind of edges. The shape, definitely not as good as hers, let me just say that. So I'm just going in with a similar brush. This isn't the same brush, but it's a kind of similar brush, and I'm just getting those edges, because the last thing we want is, you know, maybe for it to start moving, or for it to not look as crisp and white as what it should do, because we haven't set that with a powder. I love the idea of this look. When I saw it, I just said wow. And to be honest, there's one thing I always struggle with, is kind of like being creative. I get so much inspiration from other people that it's like, oh my god, I want to do that look next, and then it's like I don't actually have time to then do, you know, my own kind of looks. And sometimes I think that's very hard being in the kind of makeup world, is trying to find what your makeup is. And I'm being totally honest with you guys, I don't know. I don't know what my makeup style is, so I'm hoping that's something I can kind of find, because it is good to be original. So having a look back at the picture, we just need the white, the white base, and I'm just gonna take that, I'm just gonna re-emphasize the kind of different leaves, even though I've kind of messed it up. So here you can see that's supposed to be a leaf, so I'm gonna have to go in with something to re-emphasize this, but here you can see, here and here you can see. I think that looks fine. I'm happy with that. It's just, yeah, here this part is giving cow. This is like actually looking like petals, but this part is giving cow, because I need here, you see what I mean, I need to go in there. Okay, so we've kind of made it a little bit better. You can really see a harsh line of white here. I'm just trying to use some white eyeshadow and kind of blend that out. I'm not too fussed if it, you know, doesn't look perfect, because I get it, you know, I kind of messed up. Anyway, I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna add the final kind of white liner that she uses right at the end. I'm gonna do the other eye, try to match that, which I'm not gonna be able to do, and then I will come back. Okay guys, this is the final look. I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud of myself, because I mean, this one messed up a little bit, like the shape. Can you see what I mean? Like here you have the shape, it makes sense. Here I kind of messed up, but once again, we live and we learn, right? That was so fun to do. The shadows are very pigmented. I finished off with the Juvia's Place liner in Cola, and then I used Colourpop's Winx Collection lip gloss, which is just nice blue. It's not too blue, it's more of like a tint. I'll zoom in and see if you can see. Oh, careful. I'm very proud of myself for doing that, and it kind of actually working for me. Let's talk the Sample Beauty palettes. They were amazing. Like, we can see how pigmented they really are. So yeah, very pigmented, very easy to blend as well. You don't, as I said earlier, need to keep kind of going back in to get that pigment or anything like that, which is really amazing. I do really like them. I think they're very affordable. They have a range of colors as well. We got mattes, we got shimmers, and to be honest, all the shades I used, as you saw, were very, very beautiful, very bright, very vibrant, very pigmented. They did what they needed to do. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very excited to kind of create completely different looks, because I think that palette really encourages you to experiment and kind of just be free with whatever look you create, which I love. I really love that. So I'm very happy with that. I definitely recommend if you're looking for eyeshadow palettes. And that was the look, and I guess it also was a tutorial. This was not planned today, and I think we know that. I'm very glad that I did turn it into this though, just to add like more. I love when you have eyeshadow and then you just boom, whether it's like gems or some crazy like liner work. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on all of my social media platforms, which I will put in the bio for you guys. But once again, thank you for watching. I hope to see you here for the next video, and I believe that is that from me. So goodbye for now.